Hey guys, it's Bear, and it's time for part 2 of our tent poles videos that we've been doing. Been a day or two since I've been able to get out here and work, but wanted to invite you back to come along with me. All right, let me get the camera repositioned here for a moment and we'll get going. All right, be right back. Okay guys, in the first video, you remember we did this channel in both of our 2x2s to make an X brace. It's a very good secure form, and what I have done off camera is go ahead and lay out the next two, and we'll get onto those right now in just a second. Be right back. Okay guys, this is the poles for the second one. You can see where I've laid out this dimension here, and I've done it on the other side as well. These are going to be our lines to work from, right here and right here. You can see where I have laid out the lines to cut the mark, and also I've done it here on the other side as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect those lines using a triangle, carpenter's triangle. All right, let me get the camera repositioned yet. Okay guys, now this is carpenter's triangle. Okay, you can use it to measure any degree up to 90. It's takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's kind of fun. So what we're going to do is we've got a line here that comes over and a line that comes here. And what we want to do is take this and connect them. So we're going to lay our triangle down just like that, holding it in place, and then make our mark. Okay, let me pull it up a little closer. You know, we're not doing the fancy stuff right now, but there's our mark, the first mark. Now, let's get that second one. Now, what we need to do is we need to find this. This is a 2x2. It's not a true 2 inch by 2 inch. It's like a 1.75 by 1.75, which is, you know, not a big deal. Oddly enough, the width of this foot is the approximate width of half of this board. So what I'm going to do is take it, holding it in place and marking. Then I'm going to do it here on this other side. And mark the waist. The reason that I mark the waist, let's redo this side right here. There we go. We'll take that out. Yeah, much better. Now, let me reposition the wood and get it where it'll be good to cut, and I'll be right back, okay? Okay guys, starting back, got our coarse cut saw, got a chisel. Now I'm going to make my marks in here so that my saw will follow them. Always remember to keep your fingers behind the chisel blade. You may ask me how I know that. Okay, there's one. Now, got our marks. Going to cut our bevels. And what the bevel does is it gives the saw a track to ride in. All right. Now, pick up our saw, come right in this first track. All right, there's our first one. I ran off on that one a little bit, but hey. At some point I'm going to need to go inside and get a bar of soap and soap up the blade on that saw. It's got something on it that was causing it to stick. Huh. I wonder. Okay. Now, see right here where we've got our guides cut. What I'm going to do now is come back here and we're going to chisel that out. All right. We ready? I'm going to start right here where I have the most meat on the inside. on this side. That looks like it came through very well. All right, there it's out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chisel and put it through and clean up the inside of that track. Now, we'll switch to a smaller chisel. I also have alright, I switched to a smaller chisel so I can get in here a little quicker, a little neater. This is a 3/4 inch versus the 1 inch I was using a minute ago. I think it's interesting. I see all these guys doing stuff like this on YouTube, and when they get done, you could absolutely, it's the smoothest edge I've ever seen in my life. Not so much with me. But anyway, it's good enough for what we want it for. And there we have the first one of the second set. Now, let me reposition. Be right back. All right, guys, let's prep this one. There's a couple of guys on YouTube. They're both getting on up in the age. I believe his name is Peter Billingsley, something like that. He used to be the master woodworker at Plymouth Village up in Massachusetts. He does some absolutely beautiful work, and it's all 16th and 17th century reproduction. And I believe it's Billingsley. Don't quote me on that. The other one, for those of you of a certain age here in the States, might remember on public broadcasting the Woodwright Shop. And those two gentlemen were my inspiration for doing things like this. I've never had the opportunity to meet Mr. Billingsley, but I did meet Roy Underhill from the Woodwright Shop. My middle son and I went to Alabama Frontier Days when he was just a little guy, and everybody was treating him like he had the plague. You know, here's this fellow who works with hand tools and wood carving, and everybody kept him. I mean, everybody treated him like he was, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Everybody treated him. Everybody didn't know how to treat him. That's what I'm trying to say. People didn't know how to treat him. Didn't know how to take him. Well, my son and I just walked up to him and started talking. I heard that he was going to be there, and I had all the copies of the Woodwright Shop up to that point. He writes books. He has books. I think they come out through the University of North Carolina Press. I don't know if they're still available. I have not had the opportunity to look recently, but you know, they may still be available through the University of North Carolina Press. But my son and I, we hung out with Roy for about 2 hours, just us. You know, we were walking around looking at things, talking, having a good time. And people looked at us like we were crazy. It was a lot of fun. My son and I still talk about that occasionally. But yeah. That takes care of that. I encourage you to look up the Woodwright Shop and look up Peter Billingsley's channel. I don't remember what the name of it is right off the top of my head, but they're both excellent resources. You know, and you can find them on YouTube. I have found them both on YouTube, but I highly recommend them if you want to go into woodscrafting. Mr. Underhill, I don't know. he did have a class. He would teach classes at his home, in his shop. I don't know if he's still doing that anymore. I haven't heard much out of him in several years, but I do know in person he's an awesome fella. If you ever get the chance to meet people like that, take it. They are rare gifts and opportunities. There we go. Now to clean it up. Take a little bit off right there. And now these feathers, which actually segues very well into my next thought. This wood that I'm using for these cross pieces is pressure treated. It's yellow wood. No, this is not a commercial, and I am not sponsored by Yellowwood. But my point is this. A lot of times when you're using an untreated wood, you can use the scraps. Whatever you do, with all due respect to the corporation, don't use this for cooking wood or for firewood because it's a good, easy way to wind up dead. All right, guys. There you have it. 2 cross members ready to go. We're going to do the third part of this in our next undertaking, our next episode. So until then, guys, get out and enjoy yourselves. Have fun. And as always, we'll see you down the road.